So I just started climbing on the Kilter Board the other day, and I thought it's pretty interesting, and there's some things that I would like to share. My name is Chang, I'm always climbing, and this is my first impressions of the Kilter Board. Here we go. I think this bad boy is a really nice board. Now when you first look at it, all the holes look like jugs because they're big, they take up a lot of surface area, but at the end of the day you got to realize that the holes are pushed out from these jug type of platform that they're on, therefore they're actually a lot smaller than what they are. So everything, when I first touched it, I was like, it's a bit of a misleading. Second, I would like to note that there are no sharp edges on this board on these holes at all. Every single hole on this is like super smooth, soft, kind of sloper that's been pushed down to crimps. Is a type of weird way to describe it. In terms of the amount of jugs on this thing, it's like excruciatingly large amount of jugs, and I would have to say that is because the angle of the wall can be adjusted, and you can't just have crimps if this thing could go down to like a 55 degrees or 70 degrees, I believe, at max. Also, the grading on these climbs are very soft in relationship to the moon board. As someone who came from the moon board before, that's not to say it's bad, it's just to say it's surprisingly soft, and I gotta ego check myself sometimes, right, when I'm doing these climbs. Needless to say though, I feel like the style of the moonboard climb, just because of the way it's set up, is very dynamic, very foot cutting loose, very reach far type of moves. I felt like a lot of these moves were about how hard can you generate using your arm, as opposed to how hard can you generate or how hard can you just hold the hole using your fingertips, if that makes sense. Whereas on the moonboard, it's like, oh wow, these holes are small, they're sharp, you gotta really crimp. Over here, I found I really needed to just use my arm strength a whole lot more, and that I think that's a good thing because that's a one particular weakness of mine. I also find that maybe it's just because it's been a while since I did nothing but pure board climbing, but my fingers after doing a long kilter session are a little bit taxed, a little bit fatigued, unusually amount, but they're not like taxed and fatigued in the way like I crimped really hard. They're like taxed and fatigued in the way like I just did like a bunch of bicep curls with them, which is a really weird feeling. Right here is Advanced Crimping Fundamentals 3. I thought this was a really good problem, and I should have day flashed it because I was projecting it last time, but I was remiss. I also find, oddly enough, on this board I'm using the faux crimp a lot more, and that's just not something I normally do. I'm more of a half crimp open hand type of guy, or like a pinch guy. And as much as I hate to say that, I'm not a big fan of pinches either. I like jugs. But on this board, I find faux crimping is really applicable, and it does help me tremendously do these climbs. But I think one of the coolest thing about the Kilter Board is that, how do I say this in a way that makes sense? It's really big. Well, at least this version that I'm climbing on, and therefore the potential for traversing left and right and then up is really high, as opposed to something smaller like the moon board, right? But also at the same time, now you're going to more of a slightly strength endurance type of thing versus just pure power type of thing, which is not bad or good, just depending on what you're training on. Of course, the Kilter Board you can also do pure power on, just gotta select the right climbs, right? But me being me, I do like a little bit longer climbs. It suits me a little bit better. And on this climb is I really like this climb. It's like a little bit reachy, just a few moves. It's very obvious, takes up basically the whole board. And my first 3 attempts I just didn't get it because I was just really tired, and then after resting for say about 10 years, I finally came back and then I totally smashed it. And here, look, you're gonna see it's called Kilter, and the reason why I chose it is just because of the name. I also find that the Kilter Board has like unlimited amounts of problems just because of the varying degrees that you could put it on. So there's a whole slew of problems for this degree, a whole slew of problems for this degree, and another slew of problems for this degree of angle up, which I think is really cool. Overall, I think the Kilter Board is a real cool board. I don't know if I would prefer over the moon board for just pure training, but for like if I could just climb on one board for the rest of my life, maybe it'd be the Kilter Board. But again, I'm very debatish on that, honestly. But I know I like it. I think it's cool. The lighting system on it, phenomenal. Anyways, that was my very quick first impressions of the Kilter Board. My name is Ben Chang, and I'll see you next time, partner.